Ever been in a situation where you know someone is lying to you, but you just can't get them to admit it? It's one of the most frustrating feelings in the world. Well, for decades, law enforcement and the FBI have used a powerful and controversial psychological roadmap designed for one thing and one thing only: getting a confession. It's called the Reid technique. From putting in counterterrorism efforts to disrupting drug networks and uncovering complex financial frauds, the FBI operates as the premier federal law enforcement agency in the United States. With such a broad range of responsibilities, it's only natural that FBI agents are going to come across a wide variety of suspects. And this makes FBI interrogators some of the most skilled in the world. Now, before we get to the part where I talk about the Reid technique and what it is, let me quickly tell you what this video is going to be all about. So this is a very celebrated, highly professional and extremely controversial technique to get a confession. But this is not why this is important. This is important because you have to learn when somebody is doing this to you. And since my channel is all about communication and talking and personality, I've got to make you aware of these things going around. And if somebody puts that kind of a psychological pressure on you, you should be prepared and you should be aware that someone has probably seen one of these videos and they want to do this to you. So be prepared and learn what not to do and how not to succumb to the pressure when somebody is doing this to you. Now, I'm going to explain this to you in a very professional way. Okay, forgetting for a minute that you are just a student, I want to introduce this to you as a proper concept that is studied worldwide and is used in the United States and probably in other nations too. Now, this is useful to you because it's a psychological way of making people behave or saying things the way they want you to. Now, before we take a dive into this video, I want to tell you my reason behind doing this one. I've put in about 10 hours into studying this topic and I am thrilled on what I've learned. It's extremely entertaining, it's psychological, and I love reading psychology. I love understanding how human mind works. It has always fascinated me. My own thoughts, sometimes they fascinate me that I'm capable of thinking things like these. So yes, I'm a student of psychology. I am forever in love with this subject. So I thought that I will bring this to you because it's very educational. It is something you, as a person who is moving in a society, meeting hundreds of people in a month, you should be aware of the psychological games and tricks people can play on you. So you have to learn these things so that nobody gets to take advantage of you. And the moment somebody does this technique and applies this technique on you, there is this alarm that goes off and it tells you that, hey, come on, you've read this somewhere. You are aware of this. You heard about this. This is that happening with you. I'll tell you why this technique, the Reid technique, is controversial and why it is warned against. It is because sometimes when it is applied, people confess to things that they never did, were actually innocent, but they confess because of the pressure this technique creates. So, okay, I hope you're ready and I've generated enough curiosity around the subject. Let's get into it. So before we actually get into it, I want you to understand that this is applied in interrogation. However, some parts of it can also be used in day-to-day conversations where people they probably have some agenda, they have some hidden motive against you. Okay, first what we need to do is understand the difference between interview and an interrogation. An interview is mainly about gathering general facts, while an interrogation is much more focused. In an interview, the questioner usually does not know many details about the crime and is trying to get a broader picture of what happened exactly. Interviews are more done with witnesses, but sometimes suspects are interviewed too. Based on the information collected, an interview can later turn into an interrogation. Unlike interviews, interrogations aim to uncover specific details or secure a confession. By this stage, the investigator usually already knows most of the facts and is just filling in missing pieces. Interrogations can also be used to push a suspect to admit they lied earlier or to reveal facts they are holding back. Sometimes the interrogator already knows the full truth and simply wants a confession. Contrary to popular belief, the FBI does not promote harsh or aggressive interrogations. Instead, its policy stresses that building rapport is far more effective for getting information than using threats, trickery, or intimidation. In this video, we are going to break down the core steps of this famous interrogation method, and I'll tell you how it works using a simple everyday example so you can see the psychology in action. A word of warning though, this is a powerful tool and using it in your personal life can have some serious consequences, so just be a little cautious. Stay tuned to the end to find out why. So let's set the stage. Imagine you come home and a sentimental family heirloom. So heirloom is a valuable object that has belonged to the family, to your family for several generations. Let's say a vase that your late grandmother gave you is shattered on the floor, okay? The pieces are carefully hidden maybe at the bottom of the trash can. Now, the only person home all day was your younger brother. Let's call him Manu. Okay. When you ask Manu about it, he looks you right in the eye and says, I have no idea what you're talking about. I was in my room all day. You know he did it. He knows he did it, but he won't budge. This is where the Reid technique begins. Okay. Step number 1, the direct confrontation. The first step is firm and direct. You don't ask questions. You make a statement of fact. You would look at Manu calmly, but with confidence and say, Manu, the investigation is over. I know you broke the vase. Key here is to watch their reaction. Okay. A truthful person will often get angry and they would, go on the offensive. A deceptive person is more likely to be defensive and offer weak, rehearsed denials. Since they broke the vase, they were already prepared that you were going to ask, right? So they're going to be rehearsed answers and genuine anger would be missing. So you have to watch the reaction there. Step number 2. Build a sympathetic narrative. This is where the real psychology kicks in. You don't yell or get angry. Instead, you create a theme or a story that minimizes the moral blame. You're essentially giving them a justification for what they did. You could say something like, look, I'm not saying you did it on purpose. I know you'd never do that. You were probably just walking by. Maybe you bumped the table by accident. You saw it fall and you panicked. You were scared I'd be furious. So you just cleaned it up, hoping to figure out what to do later. It was a mistake, right? Anyone could have made that mistake. You're creating a sympathetic narrative that makes admitting the truth feel less like a confession and more like an agreement. Okay. Step number 3 is handling denials. As you develop your theme, Manu will try to interrupt with denials. No, I didn't. Or that's not what happened. No, you're wrong. The Reid technique says you must not let these denials take root. Okay? Every time a person voices a denial, their resolve gets stronger. So in their head, they start to believe in their own lie. Okay? And they start to get more firm with their lie. So you politely shut it down. When he says, but I didn't do it, you might reply, Manu, just hang on a second. Let me finish. We'll go to that. Okay. Now what you're doing is you're controlling the conversation and you're not letting him finish the denial, which was, no, I didn't do it. Oh, what are you saying? No. You're just trying to cut him there and stop him from saying those sentences. Step number 4. Overcoming objections. An objection is different from a denial. It's a logical reason why they couldn't have done it. Manu might say, I couldn't have broken it. I was on a video call for school all afternoon. Your job here is to turn that objection into an admission. This is what you'd say. Exactly. You were distracted. You were focused on your call. You weren't paying attention to where you were walking. That's why it was an accident. It's not like you planned it, you see? Step number 5. Procuring and retaining attention. At this point, the suspect is feeling stressed and withdrawn. Now, you need to regain their attention and build a sense of rapport. You might move a bit closer, sit down next to him, and lower your voice. You make it seem like you're on his side. Listen, Manu, this isn't about the vase. That's just a thing. This is about us. It's the lying that's the problem here. I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm trying to help you make this right. Step number 6, the alternative question. This is the final psychological trap. You offer 2 choices for why the crime was committed. One makes it sound understandable and almost forgivable. The other makes them sound like a horrible person, and nobody wants to be a horrible person. You'd ask Manu, so, look, was this just a complete accident that happened because you were being a little careless, something that you feel bad about? Or Did you smash it on purpose because you've always been jealous and you wanted to hurt me? As I said, nobody wants to be a horrible person. He's now cornered into choosing the good option, which is still a confession. No, it was an accident. I didn't mean to. Step number 7, the confession. He just admitted it. The final step is to get him to elaborate on how it happened, solidifying the confession. Okay, thank you for being honest. Just tell me what happened from the beginning. And there you have it. Manu confessed. So, that's the classic Reid technique. It sounds like something straight out of the movies, right? But it's important to know that in the real world, this technique is highly controversial, even within law enforcement circles. Why? The primary criticism is that the intense psychological pressure that it creates can lead to false confessions. Think about it. An innocent person, exhausted and cornered after hours of this, might confess just to make it go away, just to make it stop. In fact, numerous wrongful conviction cases have been linked to these kind of coercive interrogation methods. Coercive is forceful, where something was not done out of will. Because of this, many agencies, including the FBI and law enforcement in countries like the UK, Canada, they've been moving towards less confrontational, more repo-based methods that focus on information gathering rather than securing a confession at all costs. This technique was designed for trained professionals in a controlled environment to solve serious crimes. Using it in your personal life is like using a hammer to crack a nut. It can be seen as highly manipulative and can seriously damage trust between you and your friends, your partner, or your family members. You might get a confession about the broken vase, but you might also break your relationship with Manu in the process. True communication and personality enhancement are built on trust and empathy, not on psychological tactics. So while it's fascinating to understand how it works, maybe keep this one in your intellectual toolkit rather than your conversational one. Now, here's the better way. So, if the high pressure Reid technique is the wrong tool for our personal lives, what's the right one? What should you have done with Manu and the broken vase? The goal shouldn't be to get a confession, but to open a safe path to the truth. Instead of confrontation, try starting with vulnerability and a statement of shared values. It would sound something like this. Hey Manu, I found the vase broken in the trash. I'm not going to lie, I'm really sad about it because it meant so much to me. But our relationship is more important than any object. I'm not looking to punish you, but it is important for us to be honest with each other. Can you please just tell me what happened? See the difference? You're not accusing, you're stating the facts, expressing your own feelings, using the I statements, and prioritizing the relationship over the mistake. This approach invites honesty instead of trying to force it. It builds trust, while the Reid technique can shatter it. Remember that. What do you think? Is this technique genius or just plain manipulative? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy learning about the psychology of communication, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more such videos. Please do me a favor, give it a like if you enjoyed the video till here. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this new format. I really enjoyed writing this one for you. I hope to come up with more such content pieces because, I want to experiment. I want to come up with new stuff for you. So if you enjoyed it, please give it a like and do share some love in the comment section because whenever you're experimenting with something new, there is always this duk 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 duk. You wanna feel validated that it was a good choice. So please, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.